worker. Alba is the technician on food losses and food waste at the Catalan Ministry of Climate Action, Food and Rural Agenda, DACC. She graduated in food science and technology at the University of Barcelona, master's program in food safety from 2022. She has been working on the Department of Climate Action, Food and Rural Agenda of the Catalan government in food losses and food waste prevention. She is promoting the change towards a more sustainable, safe, fair, cohesive, resilient, healthy, and competitive food system. It's my pleasure to welcome Alba Graells with us today. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Thank you very much for inviting me to participate in this exciting seminar. As Dr. Faya said, I am the responsible for the prevention of food losses and food waste at the Catalan government in the Ministry of Climate Action, Food and Rural Agenda. And in today's presentation, what I'll be explaining is the Catalan strategy to prevent food losses and waste as an example of a front-running region on preventing food losses and waste. Okay. So first of all, our campaign, our strategy is called Catalonia Safe Food, and the main objective is to work towards zero food waste. So how we do it? So we have five bullet points. The first one, the first bullet point is knowledge. The second one is awareness raising. The third one is promoting and prevention and reduction actions. The fourth point is regulation as public administration as we are. And the fifth one is governance. And I'll be elaborating a little bit on each one. So for knowledge, okay, so what we do in as government is we are generating knowledge. So we conduct a series of different studies together with research centers and different universities to gather data and understand the causes of food loss and food waste along the food supply chain in order to be able to apply effective policies and also apply different measures or actions to prevent food losses and waste. So one of the main studies that we do every year is the food losses and waste diagnosis through the whole food supply chain. This means that we quantify and we measure food losses and food waste in the different steps of the food value chain. So in the food primary sector, we evaluate food losses, and then throughout the food supply chain, we evaluate food waste. Here you have the icons of each food commodity that we have been working on, and this year we are working also in the meat sector, so it's quite interesting to see the different methodologies applied to quantify food losses and food waste in the different food commodities and sectors. And the other studies that we also do is we develop different material for food companies and other stakeholders. And what we do is we give options for food utilization. So I'll give an example. For example, in the fish sector, what we do is do a literary review on what uh, on what the food can be used as. For example, all the parts of the fish can be used and used as byproducts in the food industry, so we can promote the reutilization of this food and also preventing the food waste. And also you have an image of all the food commodities that we have been doing. And then another thing that we have been working since this year is an European project called Follow. This is a very interesting project because the main objective is to bring knowledge and consensus to prevent and reduce food losses in the primary production sector. And why? So this is mainly because the European Union doesn't have a clear and consensus definition of food losses, and neither has a methodology to measure and estimate food losses in the primary sector. So with this project, what we want to do is establish the mechanisms to measure and estimate food losses. We want to monitor and report food losses. So what we're doing is creating a national and European food loss registry, so we can gather and collect data on food losses through all the European Union. And then what we wanted to do is assess the magnitude and impact of food losses. This project is mainly based on four levels. One is understanding food losses. So what are the root causes of these food losses? The second one is measuring food losses. We will be developing different methodologies to quantify food losses in different food commodities. And then what we wanted to do is training, so a learning center to transfer all the knowledge acquired in this project. And then what we want to do is adopt, so we want to give some recommendations to reduce and prevent food losses, and to be able to replicate all of our outcomes in training regions throughout the European Union. The second thing that we do in the Catalan government is a regional campaign to raise awareness about the fight against food waste. This campaign is now going on in Catalonia, and what we do is 5 different activities that want to raise awareness about the fight against food waste, and it's mainly addressed to consumers. So what we do is different. Um, so we do different activities. The first one is in 17 restaurants in Catalonia. The different chefs of the restaurant will cook a menu for the consumers with food that is rescued by some stakeholders in the food supply chain. So different companies in Catalonia are giving products and food that they are not able to sell or put in the supermarkets. And what they do is they give the product to us. We give it to the restaurants, and they cook for like 100 and 150 people. And the other one, what we do is with a Espigolados Foundation, what we do is 5 cleaning activities. That is mainly we go to different food producers' farms, and what we do is we harvest different food products, different crops that were not going to be harvested because of different reasons. For example, because the farmer doesn't get a good price for the food, and they won't harvest the product, or for example for other climatic conditions or quality requirements that this food cannot be sold. And then on the third bullet point, what we do is promote food losses and waste prevention actions. What we do from the government is we provide guidelines to implement a food loss and waste prevention plan. On your right, you have the first guide that we did. It's a guide to implement a food loss and waste prevention and reduction plan in the agri-food for the agri-food companies. So we give 10 steps or principles that they are very simple, and they let you establish different actions to prevent food loss and food waste. And based on this guide, what we have done is going to different sectors. We set different guidelines for specific sectors, so they can prevent food waste. For example, in school canteens, what we did is a guide specific, but with a protocol to quantify as food waste in school canteens based on their characteristics and their and their set on the school. And we did the same for the hospitality sector and for restaurants and the catering sector. And then one of the most important things that we do is we regulate as public administrations. In 2020, we we developed the law on food loss and wastage prevention. This is the one of the first laws that was approved in the European Union in food losses and food waste. And one of the most relevant aspects of this law is that has a holistic approach of the whole food supply chain, addresses the whole food supply chain from the primary food sector till the consumers. So we think that is a very important thing. And also another key aspect is that food losses in the primary sector are included. Okay, and just a quick, I will just put some obligations for the on the law because I think those are very important. So mainly the food chain stakeholders, they have to implement a food loss and waste prevention plan. So based on our guidelines that we give, each stakeholder has to have their own prevention plan to reduce food losses and food waste, and they need to reduce, measure, and annually report the quantity of food lost and waste of their company. And also another thing that we said is that they had to account for the food products that are intended for free distribution or animal feed. So these products that they can't sell or they don't have anything to do, they have to go to free distribution for human consumption in the first place. And then if it's not possible, then we ask them, okay, can go for animal feed. And then if there's no possibility for these two, then we have that it's food waste. The only thing that this law has is that micro enterprises are excluded from these obligations, so they don't have to implement food losses and waste prevention plan or neither reduce and annually report the quantity of food loss and waste. And then the last thing is that we co-governate. So what we do is we promote a model of shared governance. We only not work with other public administrations here in Catalonia, but we also work with the whole agri-food sector to achieve our main goal, to achieve a food system that is sustainable. So thank you very much. And if you have any questions, I'll be at the end of the session.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Alba. So many points you've covered there. Co-governance, measuring, monitoring school meals, monitoring food waste within school canteens. Quite a lot of information there. I'm sure questions are coming through from the participants. But at this point, I'll just say thank you for the presentation. Please do hold on for the panel session where we'll take those questions.